GearNetwork.com.
This is a Gear Network production.
Coming to you live from Rochester, New York, this is the FTW Podcast with John Cimino and Brandon Gorell. And now, here's John.
And ladies and gentlemen, as I stare intensely, I should say.
24.
On,
24 yards, that's why.
163.5, ladies and gentlemen, as I am staring intensely at my fantasy football possible playoff clinching game as we record right now. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Football Talk Weekly, your FTW podcast, whatever the hell we call ourselves now. My name is John Cimino at DJC Money on the Twitter, and joined always here by my co-host, Mr. Brandon Gorell. Say hello, Brandon.
Yo.
Hey, and it is the holiday season, ladies and gentlemen. Do please consider, God damn it, where did I... All right, I got to get off this tab, Brandon. It's messing with me.
What's the matter with you?
He went down to 163.5. These goddamn ESPN stat people can't get it right. Anyways, don't be like the ESPN stat people. Be like a good person and do all your shopping, your Christmas shopping. Toys R Us is out of the equation now through Amazon using shopgear.com or gearnetwork.com/Amazon, because when you do, they pay us. It's awesome. All right, breaking down the wall there. Brandon, what is good, my man? It has been a couple of weeks. How in the blue hell was your Thanksgiving?
You know, it was pretty dope. I ate a lot. I slept. I went for a run stupidly in the morning outside, and it was like, I think it was 9 degrees. And it was weird because I felt like I had to do it because I was supposed to do the turkey trot, but then we saw the forecast for the week coming up, and we were like, nah, fuck that. Because there was still time to like register up until the day of. And we were like, I'm not going to go out in that cold of weather. Fuck it. Not on Thanksgiving. So we decided to skip it. So I had a bunch of free time, and I was going to go to the gym anyways. I was like, you know what? Why don't I try to get a little bit of a run in today? See if I can brave the cold. Mm-hmm. I got about like half a mile into it, and I was like, yeah, we're going to turn around and run the other half mile back because it's fucking cold. So, you know, warmed up from that. Went to my mom's. Ate. Didn't have the kids this year, so I passed out on the recliner afterwards for about half an hour. Got a power nap in. Mm-hmm. Went home, watched some more football, eat some more leftovers. Went shopping for a little bit. And then called it a night.
All right. Pretty good. Yeah. I fought with family.
Yeah, that's I was getting the updates.
Yeah.
It sounded awesome.
Yeah, it's you know what it is. It's the holiday season, and my family is stupid. Anyways,
like more persistent, because I had, an issue years ago, if you remember, where my sister invited my ex-wife to Christmas dinner.
Yes, I do remember that.
Without asking me.
I do remember that.
I don't really want her there, but thanks. I'm not coming.
Yeah.
And there was a standoff for a while, and they all backed off and backed down. Now no one messes with me, man. It doesn't seem to work like that. Like, time does not seem to. Fucking hard-headed idiots in your
family. No shit. It's been 4 years. Yeah. Stand down, motherfucker. But anyways, we're not here to talk about my woes. We could take that to the JC Money Show, or I'm even debating on renaming that show, because fuck it, I don't care. But anyways, we're here to talk sports and shoot the shit about football and all that type of stuff. And
fuck football.
Yeah, you know what? Jalen Ramsey's saying that to himself, I think, right now at this point, because you want to talk about the ultimate egg on his face.
He's had it a few times this year. This one was the worst, though.
Yes, but this one's the worst because this one, he specifically called out Josh Allen for no reason, said he was trash, and said, I quote, "I hope he is the starting quarterback by the time we play."
I'm so glad he healed up in time.
And all Josh Allen did was throw for 280-something yards and 2 touchdowns. And all Jalen Ramsey did was nothing but sit there and lose and get trolled from the Bills and everything ever since. So let me ask you this, Brandon. With Jalen Ramsey having done what Jalen Ramsey did, earlier in the season, and all the trash talking.
You gave Allen way too much credit in that game by passing. By the way, he only threw for
was it? I'm sorry,
160.
No. It was 8. I'm sorry, I'm bringing up the stats now. He's 8. He was 8 of 9, 8 of 19 for 160 yards and a touchdown. But he didn't commit a turnover. He also rushed for 99 yards.
Yeah, he should have been 101. They got to do something about that. You take a knee and it counts against your running stats.
Yeah,
he had 101. He had to take 2 knees. It's kind of dumb.
Yeah, it was a good game.
It wasn't Phillip Rivers-esque, but
no. And that's another. And that's I laugh about Jalen Ramsey, and yet nobody's talked about Phillip Rivers. And the only thing they really talked about with the Chargers seems to be the fact that they're announcing sellouts with nobody there, and that the other team's fan base is littering the crappy StubHub Center where they play. And yet Phillip Rivers went 25 first. Did you tell me this? 25 first,
25. Yeah, he set an NFL record. No, it's 25 of 25.
Okay, so 25 of 25.
He broke the record for consecutive completions to start a game.
That's incredible. And yet
the highest, and it was the highest completion percentage for a game too. It was 96.9.
Mm-hmm.
And it's insane.
It was, and
Aaron Rodgers gets to face them this week.
Oh yes, he does. Rivers 259 yards, 3 touchdowns. You had Melvin Gordon with 10 attempts, 61 yards, 2 touchdowns. Keenan Allen 7 receptions, 72 yards, 1 touchdown. Brandon, the Chargers are 8-3. Why are they getting no respect?
Yeah, just because they're the Chargers. They seem to always fly under the radar. Nobody cared about them when they're in San Diego. Nobody cares about them when they're in LA. There's another LA team that's taking all the sunshine, and it's the Rams right now. Bad news coming out of that game, though, is Melvin Gordon sprained his MCL in that game. So that's going to hurt. It's going to put more on Rivers, which I'm sure he's fine with. But it's tough because they've got that showdown looming with the Chiefs.
Mm-hmm. Really, Week 13 on Sunday night.
Yeah. Yep, because they've got the Steelers next. And then they're home for the Bengals. It's going to be the Andy Dalton-less Bengals.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's going to be at the Chiefs, home for the Ravens, and at the Broncos. So that game against the Chiefs, I mean, if they can be still, with only 3 losses when they face the Chiefs, I mean, they have a chance if they beat the Chiefs to take the division.
Right. And
kind of scary.
How crazy would it be for them to host a home playoff game at StubHub Center?
Yeah, with nobody there.
Like,
it is LA though. If they make it the playoffs, people will start to show up because they're all bandwagon.
We were here since day one, motherfucker. Anyways,
LeBron James.
Speaking of being here, and speaking of LeBron James's former city, Cleveland, ladies and gentlemen. The Browns, Brandon, are 4-6-1, and since Hugh Jackson has been fired, of course, he is now the defensive, he's not even the defensive coordinator.
Offensive
he's
assistant.
Yes. With possibly in line to take Marvin Lewis's job, comically enough. Baker Mayfield has gone on a complete rampage since Hugh has been gone. In the past 2 or 3 weeks since he's been gone, Brandon, 9 touchdowns to 1 interception, whereas in his first few games with Hugh as his coach, 8 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. The turnaround for Cleveland has been quite amazing, and I don't want to give it all to Baker Mayfield, although his swagger is definitely bringing that team up. But how about the surprise for Nick Chubb?
It's not a surprise. It's that they finally fucking use him. The guy was a beast in college, run for Georgia, and they never used him. They were using all the has-been running backs that they had on their roster, and they were like, we'll give Chubb 2 carries, 3 carries here, token carries. They're actually starting to use the guy. I mean, Baker Mayfield said it best, and it was one of the sickest burns I'd seen in a long time. First he was not giving no hugs to Hugh Jackson as he came in for one. He just kind of shook hands and then walked away as the hug came and totally got left him there in midfield. But then in the presser afterwards, he says, we feel we have a really talented roster here. He says, and we believe in this. And he says, and it's good to finally play for someone we believe in the play calls coming from. So like he burned both Haley and Jackson in the same quick comment while also pumping up the current regime that's in there.
Right.
They've won 2 in a row.
They have, and that's
against
still,
the Chiefs too.
That's still very weird to hear. Browns winning a game, much less 2 in a row.
They got the Texans coming up. If they can pull off a win at the Texans and get a win streak,
they are. As it stands right now, Brandon, they are in the hunt for a playoff spot.
Yeah.
Another team that is in the hunt for the playoff spot, and it's been kind of a good one to see, is the Colts. The Colts defeated the Dolphins 27-24. They're 6-5. Andrew Luck, the story of really the season for me, as far as comeback player of the year is concerned. 343 yards, 3 touchdowns. He had 2 interceptions, but it was what it was. Him and T.Y. Hilton are something else this year. T.Y. Hilton, 7 receptions, 125 yards. Brandon, Andrew Luck, comeback player of the year? Yes or no?
I mean, that's an easy yes. I mean, he's thrown. Look at this. Since that Texans game where they lost in overtime, it was a tough game to lose. They lost in overtime. But since that game, in that game, he threw for 464 yards and 4 touchdowns. No interceptions.
Mm-hmm.
Next game, he comes back. They lose to New England 38-24. Throws for 365, 3 touchdowns, 2 picks. Loses to the Jets 23-43, 301 yards, 4 touchdowns, 3 picks. But then he goes to Buffalo, only throws for 156, but throws 4 touchdowns. And then he throws against the Raiders for 239, 3 touchdowns. Jacksonville, they get the win, 3 touchdowns. Tennessee, they get the win, 3 touchdowns, and then Miami, 3 touchdowns. I mean, he's thrown 3 or more touchdowns in every game except for the first 3.
Right.
And those are working out the kink
right
for him. So I think the old Andy Luck is back. He still has his moments where he throws interceptions, but I think when you're someone who's got an arm like you've got and you trust that a little too much, you are going to throw some interceptions.
Yes,
it's going to happen. But I mean, even a 32-11 is not a bad stat line.
No, not at all. Let's move on over.
Still ugly as fuck, but
Jesus Christ. Yes, absolutely. But he is Captain Andrew Luck. So let's talk about your Packers, Brandon.
No,
what in the blue hell, Brandon?
I'm telling you, man. We better miss the playoffs so that fat pear-shaped loser loses his job.
Aaron Rodgers, 198 yards, 1 touchdown.
Yep.
Kirk Cousins on the other side of the fence there, 342 yards, 3 touchdowns. This Packers team is...
Kirk Cousins would have similar numbers, if maybe worse, if he was facing the same defense that Rodgers was facing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he was facing the Packers started 13 rookies yesterday. 13. Right. That's more than a draft. That's almost 2 drafts worth of rookies.
That is,
in one game.
It always seems to be a thing with the Packers. They're always hampered with injuries.
Yeah, they lost the whole left side of their line in the second half yesterday too, and he got sacked 5 times, 4 times actually. The 5th one was waved off from a penalty, but. Aaron Rodgers joking aside with, the path that the Packers have to take to make the playoffs. I mean, they could win all those games. The only tough one they have in there is the Bears game.
Yes, they could, but
they still can't.
Realistically, are they going to? And if they do,
I mean, they will, but they're not going to make the playoffs either way.
So is this, in fact, you now putting away your fan hat, and let's just talk about it from a analytical standpoint. Is this make or break for McCarthy, or is he gone either way?
He's broken. If they make the playoffs somehow, and that's what pisses me off, is if they make the playoffs, okay, and they get healthy, and they make a run, and they win 2 games, and they get to the championship game and lose, he's going to get another fucking year. And that's what's frustrating. And he's been getting these years in spite of the bad job he does coaching.
Well,
He
now
has
let me.
Aaron fucking Jones.
What about the case of like? Wouldn't he be like Marty Schottenheimer? You know, Marty Schottenheimer was always making the playoffs with the San Diego Chargers.
Yeah, great.
And finally, you know, he made the playoffs his last season. He famously did not call any offensive plays, and they still lost. And they fired him after a winning season and a playoff berth, a home playoff berth, nonetheless.
Yeah.
They fired him because it was the same old shit. Now, you think the Packers would not take that approach like the Chargers did, and instead continue to take the Bengals approach like they are with Marvin Lewis?
Yeah, if they make a run in the playoffs, because they know they've got Aaron Rodgers, and they know they have, you know, they keep doing this. Aaron Rodgers has kept that guy afloat. There's no way. If you were to right now take Aaron Rodgers and put him at the quarterback position in Jacksonville and take Blake Bortles and put him at the quarterback position in Green Bay is 1-9 right now, or 1-10. They're 1-10 with Blake Bortles. If he's with Jacksonville, they're probably 9-2, 10-1. If Aaron Rodgers is there, they have a better roster. We do not have a good roster. We're in the middle of like a roster overhaul. I mean, we cut a lot of guys. We traded some guys. We got a bunch of picks and stockpiled. We drafted a bunch of young guys. I mean, it is a young team. To have 13 rookies starting in week, 12? Week 13, whatever it is. Whatever week this was, we were starting 13 rookies. You don't do that unless you're a team that's usually rebuilding. But Green Bay has not been able to stay healthy, so they've had to sign guys off of practice squads, other teams' practice squads, guys off the street to come in and play. And then when they come in and play, other guys get hurt. And another good point that was made yesterday by, and it was weird because Chris Collinsworthless made the point.
Oh, Jesus.
That when you have this many rookies,
here's a guy.
Yeah, when you have this many young guys and this many rookies, you have to go to a very vanilla playbook. Because these guys can't handle a very complicated playbook yet. They're not ready for it. So each week we have to go more and more vanilla because we keep bringing in new after new after new. I mean, the only guy he has any rapport with right now is Devontae Adams. And as soon as Adams starts getting off, there goes the double teams. And then the double teams come, and then you've got to worry about Marquez, Valdez-Scantling, and Enemequius St. Brown. I mean, nobody knows who the fuck they were until this year. They lost Geronimo and Allison for the season. Randall Cobb hasn't played in 6 weeks. Jimmy Graham has not been utilized at all, and then he injures his thumb last week. Mm-hmm. He does nothing all game until the last drive. He gets 2 catches on the last drive.
Jesus.
You had Aaron Jones all season, and he's just now starting him as of last week. I mean, the guy has over 6 yards per carry average. You got to use the fucking guy. We use him in the first half. We got a good balance. What happens in the second half? We just start throwing the whole time. Okay. And even when we decided to run, we had 4 straight runs. And you blow a timeout because you're pissed off about, you know, the clock not being reset. You're pissed about the spot.
Right.
You don't challenge. You don't do anything. You just bellyache and moan. And then you have to blow a timeout. And then you come out of the timeout and you go with a fucking handoff up the middle. Everyone in the stadium knew you were going to go with it. Now, no quarterback sneaks, no pitch out to the right, no misdirection going left when everyone's coming center. No, we're just going to run it right up the middle with no fullback. I mean, come the fuck on your own like 36. I mean, he finally goes for it, and then he uses the most boneheaded play you could possibly think of. Everyone on that staff needs to go, especially their special teams coach, because every fucking week there's a major special teams blunder.
Right.
Last week it was against Seattle. We had a 48-yard return called back because a guy decided to hold somebody that was 10 yards away from the play already happened. Like, he was gone. It was 10 yards. You had to look in the background. Here's this guy holding and swinging a guy around. Let the fucking guy go. Then you got Tramon Williams this week. We finally get the ball back, and it's like, hey, we made a stop, and we still have a chance. We're only down 7. and we kicked the punt, and Tremont Williams, fair catch, but I'm going to come up real close to it and let it hit me in the helmet, and then the other team's going to recover. It's like every week there's a special teams blunder every single goddamn week. Everybody on that staff except for Mike Penton need to go. The defense has made so many strides this year, and it's sad that the offense is getting like is giving them like it's like repayment almost. Like the offense has been good, and the defense has not been able to stop a nosebleed. Now the defense is doing a pretty decent job holding up considering all the rookies that they're starting and a new scheme that they're running and not really having a true pass rusher. Yet they're still holding teams in games, and then second half, we go to predictable play calls. Pass, run, pass. And the passes aren't even creative. We don't run slants. We don't run drag routes. We run either hooks or posts. That's all we throw. Or outs.
Right.
Just go out. Just go out and I'll throw it.
I have to say, I have to agree with you there. I think the time for, regardless of what happens with Green Bay, and I don't think that they're making the playoffs this year. I don't think that at all.
Absolutely not.
I do think that for the sake of Aaron Rodgers and his talent and what he, and how many years realistically he has left, the time is now to make some kind of change, to get something new in there to utilize his talent. And whether it's a younger offensive minded coach of the McVay form or, you need
an offensive minded coach and a younger creative one.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I feel that Aaron Rodgers, especially, and I know it's hard. And I know it's hard.
Every other fucking down.
Like, I know it's hard. I know it's hard to say that. All things considering, they've been in the NFC Championship and playoffs a lot the past.
They've had the two championship runs where they've gotten to the final game and then didn't win.
Right.
The Seattle one was the worst one where they just totally blew it.
Right.
Rodgers still, and that was the thing I was getting into with a lot of people today because they were all posting that Rodgers is 0-37 in comebacks in the fourth quarter down by more than 1 point. And I'm like, yeah, but a lot of people forget to like mention the fact that their defense is not held worth a shit. Or how about the games like this year? They're playing the Vikings this year, and Rodgers gets the ball back with 29 seconds left and rushes them down the field to get the game-winning field goal, and Crosby misses it, and they end up in a tie that game.
Yes.
They fail to remember that in the NFC Championship game against Seattle on the road with a torn calf muscle, he got them down there with 46 seconds left to get the game-tying field goal, but then never got a chance in overtime because the defense gave up an easy touchdown. I mean, it was wide fucking open. Nobody covered him. Nobody did anything. Or the Hail Mary that I watched at your house, actually, against Arizona that sent them to overtime, and then Arizona got the ball in overtime and scored almost immediately.
Right.
People like to put that on Rodgers, Yeah, that's fine.
I find it funny that those people on the aforementioned board that you're mentioning that have been posting these things, I mean, they're quick to put down the quarterback, a quarterback the caliber of Aaron Rodgers, and yet they're very, very quick to pump up the fact that that they're fans of a team that has Ryan Tannehill as their quarterback. So, I mean, that's like me saying, "Oh, hey, Josh McCown, he's real good. He did real good against Brady, in every third quarter against Tom Brady, Josh McCown threw for 10 yards. Ray,
But the thing is that they're like, well, how come Rodgers doesn't get enough, criticism? How come you can't criticize Rodgers? Well, the same thing can be said for Drew Brees. Mm-hmm. Drew Brees has not been to 3 championship games. He's been to 1.
No,
he's been to 1. He's been to 1 championship game. He's won 1 Super Bowl.
That we talked about last podcast about how
everyone's like, Brees is the best. Brees is the greatest in the league. Well, how come, the Saints before last year had missed the playoffs 3 straight seasons?
Right.
Why is it that they've been mediocre other than their Super Bowl year and this year now? why is Breeze not getting all the shit? And someone says, if you mention Drew Brees around here, it's like punching a puppy. Like, you just don't do it. And it's like, well, why? But Rodgers can take all kinds of shit. The guy's got a 4-to-1 touchdown to interception ratio in his career. I mean, that's bananas.
Right. Absolutely. I agree with you.
I agree with you there. It's been a frustrating season, and I've had DirecTV issues where I can't watch fucking games the right way. It's been a frustrating year.
I get it. I totally get it. Reddit has been a champ for me, but yeah. Anyways, finally, as far as the news portion is concerned here, Brandon, the story that I have been just dying to share with you here, because I know how strongly you feel about this particular subject. The Alliance of American Football starts play in 75 days from recording, 74 days from podcast launch, and it's going to take a big step on Tuesday. Charlie Ebersol, Brandon, the founder of the Alliance of American Football, has a clock on his wall that counts down the days, hours, minutes, and seconds until the Upstart League's inaugural game on February 9th. But on Tuesday, Kurt Warner makes his CBS Sports Network debut, calling the AAF's quarterback draft. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to laugh here. A quarterback draft. Now, let me explain how this works here. The league's 8 teams, which include our San Diego Fleet, are going to divide up the quarterbacks who have agreed to play in the AAF. And the league itself is going to use a draft format that is designed to prioritize having players play for the AAF teams in the same area in which they played college football, while also trying to put the 8 best quarterbacks on 8 different teams. Brandon, we have a who's who list of early names of quarterbacks.
Oh, fuck.
Would you like to hear the names?
You know what? Why don't you just give them to me?
Thank you. I'll take that as a yes. No matter what you would have said, I would have taken it as a yes. The quarterbacks who have already been announced as joining the AAF include Aaron Murray.
Who?
Scott Tolzien.
Macklemore?
And Christian Hackenberg.
All right. Listen. You've got the San Diego Fleet, which you're all excited about. I'm
excited for my 619ers.
You get a tingle in your dingle over your the San Diego team. The thing is that, are you meaning to tell me that they're going to put more fans in the seats to watch maybe Christian Hackenberg toss the ball around after spending years of not going to watch Phillip Rivers do it?
Well, I mean, Christian Hackenberg,
Phillip Rivers, losing him to go to LA where they still don't care, to have a San Diego Fleet team that may have Christian Hackenberg or Scott Tolzien as the quarterback. Get the fuck out of here with this league.
Well,
what a fucking joke.
Well, let's see. By far, according to this article here.
Well, is Brandon Whedon not available, or are we waiting for the bigger reveal for his name to come out?
I don't know, but it says by far the best-known quarterback who is not currently on an NFL team is Colin Kaepernick.
Yeah,
Charlie Ebersol said he has talked to Kaepernick and respects what he's doing, but he's, quote, not sure that Kaepernick is interested in joining an upstart league.
Upstart league? What's upstart about it?
I don't know. According to him, he says, I think Colin has a very, very challenging choice in front of him because I think he does deserve to be in the NFL. He certainly played at the highest level. I think Colin is more than just the weight of being a football player on his shoulders. I think he's the messenger of something bigger. So basically what that translates into, because he mentioned how close he is with Colin Kaepernick, is Colin Kaepernick is like, yeah, you can't pay me enough to be there.
Right.
So, but I think the way that the way that this breaks down is, you know, if they're basing it based on where Hackenberg played college, he would be, he played at Penn State. So he would probably be like to one of the Alabama teams or something like that. Like, you know, one of those teams over there, and not so much my San Diego Fleet. So
who the hell's going to, oh my God.
I can't wait, Brandon. Kickoff, man. Kickoff Sunday, the week after the Super Bowl.
They have a fucking quarterback draft. Like
quarterback draft. It's going to be on CBS Sports Network. I'm going to watch it.
What are they going to do? Are they going to do a rock, paper, scissors to find out who gets to draft?
I don't know, but I think I'm going to live tweet it.
Pick Scott Tolzien.
I'm going to put it on there, and I'm going to live tweet it.
Oh, God.
It's going to be great. I'll tag you in on every single one of them.
Nope, don't.
All right, well, you know what?
I'm going to say new Twitter, who dis?
Very good, very good. Well, I mean, that's all I have for the podcast. We've just kind of flew right through with it. I mean, technically the week still isn't over as of recording time, so I'm sure there's going to be more news, throughout the week, and maybe we might, maybe we convene later on in the week and try again or whatever. But I don't know.
Maybe we'll do a pick'em that week.
Yes. I totally fucked up my pick'em this week, man. I did not pick any of the Thanksgiving games. So
yeah, that's okay. I only gained 2 out of it because I got 2 out of 3 right because I decided to switch at the last second to the Lions because I'm like, you know what? They always play really good on Thanksgiving. They're going to be bringing in fucking Chase Daniels to run in the quarterback position, and I was like, yeah, we're going to be good. I was like, I'm gonna be smart and I'm gonna pick this one, and then they blew it.
Yeah, very good, very good.
I got 9 this week.
But I'm sorry, what?
I got 9 this week.
Oh, I haven't even
got
looked
6. Big Steve's got 7.
Oh boy, so I'm dropping in the standings so far right now. Then that not picking those 3 games certainly did not help my case.
You picked Houston, I'm guessing too, right?
Oh, I am ahead of the game right now.
Yeah, I was gonna say
I'm beating Huber right now. His projected total is 167.6. Conveniently, that is what I have right now. Woo! If this holds up, I clinch 6 in a row. I belted out to clinch. I'm happy. Whatever.
Clinch your butthole.
Yes. That's gonna be that'll be for later. That'll be if I win. If I win first place, oh Lord, that butthole gonna pucker up. Anyways, that's gonna do it for our very loosely rated man. I'm feeling pretty good right now, man.
What is wrong with you?
That's gonna do it for us for this edition. We may or may not be back later in the week. I'm gonna try for it. Fuck it, why not? I like podcasting.
You can do it, but if you blow me up with AAF tweets tomorrow, you might not have a partner for it. You'd be going solo.
It'll just be me calling you.
And be blocked.
I'll keep trying to call you. We'll just keep getting the hi. This is Brandon. Leave a message after the tone.
No, you're gonna get this AT&T wireless subscriber does not have a phone number that's in service for you.
Oh, God damn it. All right, fair enough. But yes, we'll convene in one way, shape, or form definitely this week. Hey, later on, Trust the Podcast, brand new, Ryan Wolf and myself breaking down more of the Bills versus Jaguars game for all of you Bills fans out there. Of course, as I have anointed myself the Bills Mafia's favorite Jets fan. God damn it. He just scored more points. I'm still ahead of him. But anyways, yeah, look for that later on in the day, and then later on the week, myself and possibly my fellow San Diegan Fleet fan here, Brandon, will be on here talking more shiznit on another edition of the FTW podcast. Brandon, good day to you, sir.
Good day to you as well.
So long, everybody. Good night now, and let's go Fleet! Right, Flavor Flav?
Yeah, boy!
Whoa, wait! Breaking news, ladies and gentlemen, here into the Gear Network studios as part of the FTW podcast, ladies and gentlemen. We recorded the podcast last night, and before I released the podcast today, I just happened to take a look at the fantasy football scores, and I lost. See you next week.
Remember to see more National Football League action next week.
The preceding presentation has been brought to you by the Gear Network.